What's going on, everybody? We are back again to talk about some manga. This time around, we are doing a manga haul, and it has been a couple of months since I did one of these. I'm really excited about this haul because I got a lot of really good stuff, and I really want to do this real quick. I want to clear the air because there's a thing that I see a lot where channels buy like 200 or something volumes of manga in a month, and it feels like kind of excessive. And even me, like sometimes in like the span of like 2 months, when I do these hauls every 2 months, my collection for those 2 months will be like 80 volumes or something like that. I try to make use, of the different manga volumes that I buy. I always try to do videos about them, whether it's like a let's talk about, a let's review, or like when I do the currently reading videos. I do another one sometimes called Hey, Have You Read? But I'm always trying to use the stuff that I buy in videos. So it's not like I'm just buying it, and it sits on my shelf forever collecting dust. I do try to use as much of this manga in videos as I can. And I want to, make as much content related around manga as I can. And I've been doing this for 2 years now. And I hope that you've connected with these videos if you've been watching me for a while, and that I've helped you find some story that you may have not known existed, or maybe you were having concerns, like you weren't sure if you were going to pick it up or not, and you heard my thoughts on it here, and it made you want to check it out or whatever. But yeah, I've got a ton of videos on this channel all related to manga. So this isn't just like some manga haul channel where I buy a ton of stuff and that's it, and there's no real connection to any of the things that I buy, and I'm just buying them for the hell of it. It is quite expensive, and after over time, it has become quite expensive. But in all honesty, dude, it's one of those things in this world that brings me joy, and it's a short life we got to live. Who knows how long we're gonna be here? So why not enjoy it? Why not do the things that make us happy? And I'm sorry that I talked for so long. Let's get into this. I'm not gonna say anymore. Let's jump right into the first volume. Right off the bat, we've got Ayakashi Triangle. This is volume 3. I did a video about Ayakashi Triangle. I don't even know how long ago at this point. But basically, there's this dude who gets turned into a girl, but he's like a ninja or something, and his whole family, he's like a line of ninjas. And it's cute as all hell. I've only read the first volume. There's an anime series about it. If you like super adult, but kind of cutesy manga, I would check this one out. I'm going to be kind of rapid firing these a bit because I have a lot of stuff to get through. I also have some Spanish manga that I'm going to be going through as well, so I'm probably going to do those last. I might even tag it to show you where the Spanish manga starts, but that's all going to be at the end of the video. We've got Ayashimon. This is a tragedy to me that this series got canceled because I think Yuji Kaku is an incredible mangaka, and it really hurts that he had his follow-up to Hell's Paradise be cut super duper short. Who knows? This could have gone on for like 8 volumes or 10 volumes or something. But I guess there wasn't enough of a fan reception for this to keep going. But I thought it was really good. Pretty much girl who is like a demon yakuza, and she's got a henchman who is human, and together they pretty much go to take on the Yakuza demon underworld. And like the premise sounded so rad, dude, because like you imagine them two like taking on like all these Yakuza demons and just like kind of like going up and taking it to the very top, and they got cut short. So yeah, that was a bummer, but I'm still collecting them, dude. I don't care. I'm still gonna collect all 3 volumes. This is volume 2 here. Volume 3 will come out at some point, and then volume 3 will be the final one. Apparently, disillusioned adventurers will save the world. I did a video about this, or I mentioned this in a currently reading video. This is a really good series. It reminds me of like Konosuba, but I think Konosuba is like much funnier. Volume 2 is on its way, so when volume 2 gets here, I'll check it out and we will see how I feel about it. But yeah, it's like it's an adventuring party. Pretty much everyone in this party was in another party previously, and they all fell out and they all hate each other, and from the people that they were in a party with, they hate all those people, and now like they're in this like I'm never going to trust anybody again mode. But they hastily form a party together, and it's kind of funny. There's parts of it that are like pretty funny, but for the most part I want to see how their relationships are going to turn out, because I did read the whole thing, and you know I did go through all of it, and I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to recommend it, and yeah, I'll recommend it here again. Choji Next by the same dude that brought you Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re. I liked the first volume. It was a little bit choppy, you know, I mean, it wasn't the best volume. I did a video. I'm pretty sure I did a video about this series. If I did, I'll put it right here, but I'm pretty sure I did a video about this series. I hope it gets better. I like these volumes a lot. They're pretty big. These are nice thick volumes and they're tall. So I really like that because it gives you more of the artwork, you know, from the story. And this has been going on for a while. And I did read some of it on the Viz Shonen Jump app, and I did see some comments, you know, that kind of had the same feelings as myself, where it does feel a little bit off in places. But I think, you know, as it gets going, it may develop into a stronger story. And I think it has, you know, from the chapters that you can read online on the Viz Shonen Jump app. I think that people are saying that it's getting like a lot stronger now, you know, as it's been progressing. So yeah, this is Choji Next. This story, I feel like, is gonna be just an absolute damned masterpiece. This is Soloist in a Cage, and this first volume is just an absolute masterwork. There's just something so beautiful and dark about this, and I think I say this every single video that, like, I am like permanently exhausted. I'm exhausted like at every waking moment of every day. I'm just like burned the hell out. And seeing this character who just looks so tired, and you feel bad for her. You just feel so bad for her, and she is just doing her best. And it's like there's that, you know, that meme, you know, like that good for her meme, you know, with the lady from Arrested Development. Like I think of that, you know, when I think of this manga, like, just like good for her, you know, she's doing her thing, and she's done some horrible things, but it's like you can defend it because the people that she's doing those horrible things to deserve it. And don't let this right here, don't let that artwork fool you. This is one of the darkest pieces of media that I've ever consumed, and it's so gorgeous, dude. The artwork is absolutely beautiful, and I have loved every second of this manga. We got PTSD Radio by a mangaka that just brings you some of the most terrifying manga out. And I love the story behind this, you know, with them having worked at the studio that was close to like a shrine that was broken or something like that. And I won't say I love that story, but I mean it adds to it. It makes it even more, you know, kind of terrifying. The fact, you know, that their studio was so close to, like, I think there was like a shrine that was broken, and then they would like hear noises in the middle of, you know, working or whatever. And a bunch of the staff got sick, and even the mangaka himself got sick. And I did a video about this that's still getting a lot of views, and it's been climbing in views. And that's really cool to me because, like, sometimes my videos don't even break like 100 views, and that one got like, it's got like 1,600 views or something like that, and it's getting views every day. I'm going to do another video about the series at some point. Once I finish Volume 2 and then start Volume 3, I'm going to do a Let's Review, and then that's just going to be like full spoilers for all 3 volumes of PTSD Radio. But I cannot recommend this enough. If you want like a legit, genuinely terrifying story, dude, PTSD Radio is where you're going to find that. And if you don't want to be terrified, but you do want to be depressed as all hell, we got Goodbye Eri by the man, the myth, the legend, Tatsuki Fujimoto, who is just an absolute treasure. He is a psychopathic treasure. Like, I love Tatsuki Fujimoto so much, dude. Everything that man touches is gold, and I mentioned his other series, 22 through 26, in my currently reading video that I did. And that was another solid collection of stories, and I'm going to be doing a video about Tatsuki Fujimoto, about all of his series that are out right now in English. I think everything that he's done that is published is out in English, but don't hold me to that because I could be wrong. I might be wrong. I have no idea. This is a good piece of fiction, you know, just storytelling. The beginning is hilarious, you know, with what happens, the character doing like some explosion that involves an institution that I'm not going to name. But it's just so random because the faces of his classmates watching his home video as he's doing this, his movie or whatever, and they're all like, "What the hell is wrong with you, dude?" And it is. I think that's just pretty much rating Tatsuki Fujimoto in general, just being like, "Dude, what in the hell is wrong with you?" Succubus and Hitman. I've heard really good things about the story. This right here made me, for the longest time, not want to check it out because I thought it was just going to be like really corny, but apparently it's really good. And I flipped through this volume, and holy hell, like halfway through it, something happens that is really dark and really brutal. I'm not going to say what that thing is, but it made me feel like, yeah, this story is just going to be worth checking out. So I already ordered pretty much the rest of it. I got it from Right Stuff through the birthday sale. So that should hopefully be with me in the next like couple of weeks, and you'll see it in my like July, August haul or whatever. But this dude, I think at some point died. I don't know if it's this within this body, but there's a dude who died, and he was a hitman, is a hitman or something, reincarnated into another body, and him and the succubus work together to, I think, take revenge on the people that killed him. So once I read it, maybe I'll do a video about it and let you guys know what I think. So yeah, that's Succubus and Hitman. We got candy and cigarettes. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this series, dude. It just, my friend picked it up, and there's a couple things that I picked up because my homeboy picked them up, and we're gonna. I don't know if it's true or not, if we're actually gonna do this or not, but supposedly we're gonna do a book club between the two of us, and maybe like we've been, planning to do a. We've been planning to do a podcast together, and I might actually do it on this channel just to kind of split it up a little bit more and have more stuff going on. Like I just did a first impressions video last week for Goku Rakugai, and if you want to check that out, you can check it out. That's a really good series. If you want to check out either the video about it or if you want to just check out the series, it's on the Shonen Jump app. But yeah, we're gonna do a video, about this possibly between the two of us. Once we both read it, we may do like a book club type of thing, and then see how that goes. If that goes well, we might end up, going full sail with our podcast. But I liked the artwork for this. It looked so random with a little girl holding a gun with a silencer, and then there's like a pack of cigarettes on the back and a lollipop. So it's kind of random, dude. This is a series that I actually mentioned in the video, but I can't remember what that video was. I don't remember if it was my "Hey, have you read" video or if it was a currently reading video. But this is Slasher Maidens, and I finally have all the available volumes of it. This is 6 here, and that is 7. And I should maybe be kind of careful. With showing you the cover of 7. I mean, there's nothing there, but still YouTube might be weird about it. So yeah, with those right there, I am caught up on Slasher Maidens, and this is a really good series that I don't think really has a massive appreciation. It definitely deserves it because the artwork is cool, and the dude who writes it, he writes it and draws it. He drew Akame ga Kill. Yeah, that's what it was. He drew Akame ga Kill, but he didn't write it. Somebody else wrote that series, and this is his series, I think, where he pretty much does everything for it. And the first volume that I read was really good, really gruesome, and I can't wait to read more of it. But yeah, Kaiju number 8, volume 6. This is such a good series, dude. And I did a video about this like over a year ago, I think, at this point on the channel. Like, this mangaka dude has put in Naoya Matsumoto. Naoya Matsumoto has put in so much work, and it's such a beautifully drawn manga, dude. And the artwork, yeah, like, and the story is solid. The artwork is solid. I really like the characters a lot. It does have, like the shonen trappings, where they're like, I'm gonna catch up to whoever the hell, I'm gonna catch up to my senpai, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It does have those like shonen trappings. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty solid, dude. And even like the kaiju in the story are good, and like they have like morphing kaiju that turn into like humans and can jump between being human and being kaiju. And I like that that's something that was introduced into this, and it's not just like straight up kaiju. And they live in like kind of like, I think like a domed sort of a city, and the dude who is the protagonist started as like a cleaning dude, and he ended up getting like parasited. If you read Parasite, like he ended up getting like parasited, where like he's now half kaiju. Only in Parasite, that dude's hand, becomes a parasite. Migi, I think was what it was called, Migi. And this, no, like he becomes like full, like I can turn into a kaiju and then I can turn back human again. But yeah, this is really solid artwork, really good story, dude. For being, like a shonen story and having, shonen trappings, it actually does have like phenomenal action and story is solid. Oshinoko! This feels like it's gonna get really depressing. This story feels like it's gonna get like really depressing, and I already know, man. Like I've unintentionally seen things that because like I look for panels when I do these videos, and that's shame on me. Like that's for sure shame on me because I do look for panels when I do these videos because I like to show you guys, like what's going on in here and like not open up the volume because I don't know what I'm gonna land on and I don't want to show you anything inappropriate. But yeah, I mean, volume one ended on some pretty dark, on something pretty dark. And in case you haven't seen the anime that's out, or if you haven't read Oshinoko at all, I don't want to talk too much about what goes on with the story. But yeah, it feels like it gets pretty dark. And I incorrectly said, I think that Akasaka, sorry, that dude's name is a tongue twister. Akasaka. I incorrectly said, I think that he did everything by himself, but there's actually another creator, Mengo Yokoyari, that is also involved in this story. So there's two mangaka, not just the one. So I was incorrect there. I said in I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a currently reading video that I did or something. I think it was the spring one. I said that there was only one mangaka and that it was that dude's manga, but there's actually two mangaka involved in this story. I didn't like it at first. I thought the first volume was kind of weak in the beginning and I almost stopped reading it altogether. But I finished it and ended up really liking it quite a bit at the end. So now that these two are older, the two kids from the first volume, now that they're older, I really want to see what's going to happen. I want to see where it's going to go, and please don't spoil it for me. Because I already know it's going to get dark, dude. I can already, because like I said, I've seen panels as I was looking for panels to show, because like I always like show panels when I do manga videos. Yeah, I've seen some stuff and it sucks, but what are you going to do? All right, so this is a series that I wanted to read, that I've been wanting to read for a while now, and I finally got my hands on it. I had ordered volume 1 forever ago, and it got lost in transit or something, and it never got delivered to me. This is screwed up, but I was reincarnated as a girl in another world, and I got the first 4 volumes of it, and I loved volume 1. I bought volume 1 by itself first, because I wanted to see how I was going to feel about it, and I loved volume 1. I thought it was really good. So it left me wanting more, so I ended up just buying the first 4 volumes. I think it's actually available through 6 or 7, I'm not even sure. Or 7's coming out or something. But yeah, it's definitely worth it to just go ahead and pick up the rest of it. I'm going to be reading volume 2 soon, but yeah, I read volume 1 already. And I was almost going to do a video about it, but I decided against it. I might just wait till I read more of it. Maybe I'll do a video about it then. Or if I do another another just random fantasy, or I was going to do an isekai video at some point, and I might still do the isekai video, so if I do that, maybe I'll just talk about it there, but yeah, I don't really see a need to make a video about this series. But Chain Soldier Volume 4, I'm in the middle of Volume 3 still. I've not finished Volume 3 yet, but once I do, I'm going to be cracking open Volume 4. This story, I first bought it just for the sake of checking it out. And right off the bat, it became just trashy, And it's actually gotten kind of better. The artwork has gotten a lot more interesting. The character dynamics have gotten a lot more interesting. And overall, I think that it could potentially, become a better series over time. It kind of reminds me of High School DxD a bit, only it's not. I don't think it's that over the top. I think High School DxD is way more over the top. Though within the story, there's this dude who, becomes a beast, and every time he becomes the sort of beast, I think they're called Mako or something. Every time he becomes one, whoever, holds the reins to when he becomes a Mako, they have to do something for him. And it's usually something super perverted. And it's just hilarious, dude. It's hilarious to see, the super over the top ecchi stuff that happens in the series. So if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into ecchi stuff and action and whatnot, this is actually not a terrible series. We got Yakuza Fiance. I have not started this, but pretty much I think like he is the Yakuza and she marries into it, like some mafia type of thing. I'm gonna check it out and see how I feel about it. We've got Downfall by Inio Asano because I still love depression. I don't know what's wrong with me, dude. I love things that are like really dark and brooding or just really sad because I am extremely sad and I'm encumbered by depression. So yeah, I love reading things that make me feel even worse than I already do. Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui. I got another series by Ken Wakui, but it's in Spanish, so I'm gonna save that for later. Dude, I love Tokyo Revengers. Like the anime kind of dropped the ball a bit, and I'm wondering if maybe it'll be a little bit different in the manga. I'm wondering if the manga, will do a better job. I'm kind of hoping that the source material will be a little bit stronger and that won't have the flaws that the anime did. Because I remember near the end of the anime, it was a slog, dude, and it was so hard for me to finish it. But I like the story a lot, dude. So it's like that's the thing that kills me. It's like I like the story a lot, but then that middle part, kind of dropped the ball for me. So I'm hoping that the manga will pick that ball back up, and we'll see us all the way through. So yeah, this collects 7 and 8, and I love that these are like oversized volumes. And I love it just shows like the characters on the back, and I might take a break from picking more of these up until I read what I have and see if I'm ultimately gonna want to keep reading it. We have Darling in the Franxx, 7 and 8, and this concludes all of Darling in the Franxx. I'm not sure how you guys feel about this story or not. I watched some of the anime, and I never finished the anime because it kind of got not that good. It got pretty bad. So I'm wondering, again, same thing, with Tokyo Revengers, like, is this going to get better as it goes in the manga? And I've seen some comments saying that it's just as bad as the anime. But I wanted to see for myself. I wanted to see for myself. So with this, I conclude my Darling in the Franxx collection with 7 and 8. That closes that out. So yeah, I want to see for myself. I'm one of those people. Like somebody will tell me, "Oh yeah, this sucks," but until I experience it for myself, I'm not gonna take that. You know what I mean? I want to see for myself, and that's kind of the same thing with Prison School. I've heard a lot of comments about how like the ending of Prison School drops the ball, and I've actually been reading Prison School. I started volume 1 not too long ago, so I'm gonna be doing Let's Reviews about that series, as I go through it. And yeah, to me, it's like until I personally experience the series and see how I feel about it, I'll take it, with a grain of salt, if somebody else didn't like it. We got Fire Force. This is by the same dude that made Soul Eater, and Soul Eater for me is a classic because I saw the anime a lifetime ago, and I'm one of those people that grew up in like the mid 2000s, so I consumed a lot of anime. Long before I ever got into manga, I consumed a ton of anime. And yeah, I've also watched both seasons of this anime, and I started reading the manga not that long ago, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in the manga that doesn't make it into the anime. Like there's a scene in a dinner table where this girl walks in and her dad is literally like a flaming skull. And if I can find that panel, I'll put it up. If I can find that panel, hopefully I can. But that was like in the first volume, and that's something that you don't see in the anime. And I actually did start reading this manga way before the anime came out, and I just never continued it because I was reading it digitally, and I never continued it. But yeah, I really like this. It's super ecchi, dude. There's a lot of like unnecessarily gratuitous stuff going on, especially with her, where she's got like some Lucky Lecherous thing going on or something, where like every time that she's near a dude, her clothes just magically fall off. She falls into the dude and he like cops a feel or something, and it's just super over the top. I hope I still have your attention. If any of you are left, please let me know that you are still there. Please just drop an F in chat. We've got Volume 3 of Colorless by Kent, and this is a really imaginative series to me because for the most part, like, it's like a really noirish looking story, and then there's like hints of color throughout. There will be like a random chapter where there's like hints of blue or whatever, and I love the use of that. And like it reminds me of this series that I had recently that I gave to a friend of mine to give to his daughter because I thought that she might like it a little bit, which was a story called "The Maid I Hired Recently Is Mysterious." It had that same sort of, like her eyes are like deep purple. Every time you see her, the rest of the manga is, in black and white, but then her eyes are like a deep purple. And this is the same thing with like Colorless, where like there's flashes of color just randomly. And this is a world where color really just does not exist, which I thought was, really cool, really imaginative on the mangaka's part, where like since manga is already technically in black and white, except for like Romantic Killer or whatever that one manga is, I think that's in color. But for the most part, like manga is for the most part manga is black and white. But this is a story where everything is like purposefully black and white. The world itself just is black and white, and there are just like random bits of color. And I thought that was really cool. And I want to keep reading this series and see what happens. And yeah, I do like that noir aspect of it quite a bit. So this one is a little bit different. This is Dungeon People. So this is like a slice of life manga about a girl whose dad goes into a dungeon. I think at one point like her dad was like a dungeon crawler and he gets lost in the dungeon and she goes to work at the dungeon where he got lost. I think that's what the premise is, and I thought it was kind of cute and it looked really cute. The artwork for it is really cute. There's like some goblins that are like just kind of chilling, and there's just characters for the most part just chilling. It's like everybody's just chilling, everybody's having a good old time. And it seems like it's just a really cute story, and I buy so much just like dark and brooding manga. I thought it would be, cool to just buy something that looked like kind of cute. And I only got volume 1 just in case I'm not super into it, that way I don't end up with too much of it and then I'm kind of stuck with it. But yeah, I mean, I'll let you know what I think of it, once I get it going on it. Yakuza Reincarnation. This looks like it's going to be really good. The artwork is solid. I've not opened it yet. I haven't even started reading it yet, but I like that this was a dude who was a Yakuza and then he got isekai'd into another world, and he is a girl now in this other isekai world, and it looks like it's a ton of fun. The artwork for the other volumes, because I picked up the rest of it, the artwork just looks like it's going to be just a blast to read. So I am definitely excited to check this out, and yeah, I want to see how it's going to go. And I like that there's a lot of like emphasis on like Yakuza type stuff and a lot of different manga, like Way of the House Husband or like Sakamoto Days or Ayashimon, and different stories like that, or even the one that I mentioned before, Yakuza Fiance, I think is what it was called. And so yeah, and this one is Yakuza Reincarnation, so I'm for it, man. I like stories like that about like gangsters and whatnot. All right, we got a whole grip of Heavenly Delusion. I talked about this in a video. I think it was my currently reading video. I talked about Heavenly Delusion. I got volume 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for the most part, I really like these two characters a lot. They're outside of this sort of society that exists that's kind of like separated from the rest of the world. And for whatever reason, these two characters are going to that place to find this other character that's trapped or whatever in that sort of society. And it just so far has been pretty good, dude. It reminds me of just like those stories, like by Aldous Huxley and George Orwell, but Aldous Huxley more than anything, because he had the one story, Brave New World, where these people live in like this sort of society where everybody's like an alpha or a beta or something, and if you're that thing, you date somebody that's just like you. Or even like Logan's Run, where they all live in this dome sort of sphere or whatever, and they go out and they meet a living, breathing person. That story's like from the 70s, dude. Or Logan's Run. And yeah, it kind of reminded me of like that sort of a thing. If you've never consumed any of that, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend like reading Brave New World or like watching Logan's Run. It's like so dated now, but it's one of my favorite films ever. We've got Soul Eater Volume 2. We'll collect all of these, I think, over a long period of time. I'm not in a huge rush to pick these up. I just want to own them because I loved the animated series, and I'd like to just own the manga because I want to eventually, check out the source material and, pour through it and read all of it. And this is going to be for me, more than anything, just kind of like something that I'm going to read on my own time for myself because I don't really think I need to do videos about this. I feel like this is a pretty old series. Like people know about it. They probably everybody that wants to consume Soul Eater has probably consumed it, and at this point you're just picking it up because, like myself, you wanna own it. So yeah, Zombie Makeout Club, Death Wish. This is this is another one that like me and my homeboy that like I gave the manga to for his girl and who I was gonna read Candy and Cigarettes with and do the book club. Me and him picked this volume up at the same time, and he read it already and he said it was kind of weird. I haven't read it yet, but he said it was like kind of weird. The artwork is great, but the story doesn't make any sense. And he's not the only one, that I've heard say that like it doesn't make like a ton of sense, that the story doesn't make like a ton of sense. But I really like the artwork and I like this cover a lot. I like her whole aesthetic, that she's got going on there. So that's enough for me. It was on sale. I think I got it for like $3 or something like that. So I was just like, you know what, dude, it's worth it. And yeah, I can't wait to start. Anyway, can't wait to start Zombie Makeout Club. The name's so damn random, dude. But yeah, the artwork within it is really solid. Tower of God, Volume 2. This is just flat out a really good story. I know it takes like forever to get going, dude. It's probably gonna, even this right here, it's probably not even gonna get to the good stuff yet. It's probably gonna take a while, maybe by like Volume 4 or something before it really gets, to like the good part of the story. And it's kind of a shame because I feel like it's probably going to turn people off from reading it, but I feel like you should know the truth if you're going to check it out, that yeah, it takes a while to get going, but the story's good. It's engaging and it keeps you wanting to know what's going to happen next if you're not already bored, by it because of the slow pace of it. But to me it was worth it because I enjoyed, every second of like watching the anime. And I read Volume 1, just kind of like going back through it again in the physical form, in the manga form, in the manhwa form, I should say, in the webtoon form. And yeah, I'm ready to continue it and see where this goes. And I think season 2 is out or is going to be out sooner or later for the anime. I'm not sure, but I haven't really been consuming a ton of anime lately, so I can't speak to that. Tombs by Junji Ito. I will collect every damn hardcover this dude does. Like, as you can see back there, I've got like a whole shrine to Junji Ito, and like it became too heavy, so I started to take some of the volumes out because I don't want that to collapse. And then if it collapses, I'll end up having to like buy a whole new shelf, and I don't want to have to do that because I kind of like the way that the aesthetic, of these tall shelves and then these like a little bit, like shorter shelves. And I want to keep that aesthetic going, so I don't want to like kill that shelf. I don't want to kill either of those shelves because I can't find those anymore. They're discontinued. But yeah, I mean, I will collect anything and everything that Junji Ito does. This is his latest collection. He's got another one coming out at some point called Shoichi or Soichi. I can't remember what the exact title of that collection is. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong, man, with Junji Ito. I've done, I think, like 3 videos, I think at this point, 2 or 3 videos at this point about Junji Ito manga. And yeah, dude, I have an absolute adoration for this dude. He was one of my first tastes of manga, of Japanese storytelling. And I remember I watched Uzumaki forever ago. I think before I ever even got into Junji Ito, I'd watched Uzumaki. And I watched it again pretty recently. It's so terrible. But it's funny because Uzumaki is like my favorite manga by him. And it's right in the middle there, I think, right there. And yeah, dude, I mean, I will always support this dude because I love the aesthetic, of his manga, and he just seems like such a chill guy. He seems so cool, and yeah, dude, it's like Miura for me, dude. I will just always and forever support and show love and appreciation. And while we're at it, let's talk about the dude that inspired Junji Ito. This is Kazuo Umez. This dude is like the grandpappy, or one of the grandpappies of, Japanese horror, dude that inspired Junji Ito, and I'm sure he's inspired countless other mangaka in Japan and whatnot, and just probably inspired just people in general that are into, horror stories and whatnot. Yeah, it's funny because like he also is just a dude that looks super chill, just like a sweet old man. He looks like such a sweet old man, and then he just does like the most horrifying, just awful manga out. And with this volume right here, I close out all of my Orochi volumes, and I'm gonna start collecting Dissolving Classroom soon. Get the rest of it, get all of it actually, because I don't have any of Dissolving Classroom. And yeah, he inspired Junji Ito. Alice in Borderland. We got Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. This is something that I have not consumed yet, but I know it's pretty popular. I know a lot of people like it, and there's no, not an anime. There's a live action series, I think, for Alice in Borderland. I really don't know much of anything about this story, and I was gonna go in blind. But based on the fact that a lot of people liked it, I got the first 3 volumes, and I got them at a pretty decent discount because I got them all on sale. So yeah, I'm excited to check the series out and see, how I feel about it. And I'm not gonna pick any more of it up until, I check it out and see for myself if I like it. Yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about it, so I can't really give you an explanation about it. But the artwork looks good, and I did kind of skim it a little bit. It looks like there is some death game type of thing going on. I could be wrong there. We've got Homunculus. And I'm eating my hair. We've got Homunculus. This is something that I've been wanting to own for a really long time. This is something that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. And it feels good to have it in my hands. And this is a thick, thick boy. I mean, to say that I have expectations is, I think that's maybe being a little too light. I have some pretty serious expectations, and I hope that because I have some like really high expectations, I hope that doesn't ruin my experience with it. This is supposed to be a phenomenal series, and a lot of people hold it in like a really high regard. They hold it in like the same regard they hold like Monster by Naoki Urasawa. So, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know what it's about, and I'm going to be reading it like either today or tomorrow. I'm going to start reading it because I'm going to be doing a video about it. Like as soon as I finish it, I'm dropping a video about it. I got to strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, once I finish it, I'm definitely doing a video about it. But yeah, this is something that I've been wanting to read for a while now, for years. I got Kaiji Volume 1 right here. I got Volume 2 on the way. This is what people are saying that Squid Game ripped off. I haven't read this yet, but from what I've heard, people are saying that that story ripped this off. I can't speak to the validity of that, so please don't argue with me because I'm not arguing anything. I'm just saying that that's what I've heard. And from what I've seen, and the anime, because there's an anime, based on this, it looks like that's a pretty strong argument. But I'm going to say, dude, I really liked Squid Game a lot. I thought Squid Game was really solid storytelling, and it's just, in general, solid Korean storytelling, and I really like a lot of Korean cinema. I mean, I'm really interested in reading this, Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse, given that it's supposed to be pretty brutal, pretty dark. So, yeah, I got Volume 2 on the way as well, and we'll see how I feel about this Gambling Apocalypse. We've got Uncle from Another World, and I love this series, dude. I've been watching the anime. Like, I've been watching the anime. This is Volume 2 and 3, 4, I got 5 and 6. I have not started the manga yet, but I love the anime, dude. The anime is so good. It's hilarious. Like, I like just really random stuff. Like, there was a series that was really short-lived. I think it was like 12 episodes or something like that. That was about this girl that's trying to get to school. And every time she tries to get to school, some random thing happens that impedes her from actually arriving at school. And I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll put it right here once I find it. It's Chiho. I think it was something like that. Like, Chiho can't go to school or can't get to school. I forgot what it was called. But it was so random and so cute, and I showed it to a friend of mine. Like, I'm friends with this Japanese girl, and like, since she pretty much was born in Japan and speaks like fluent Japanese, she could just, just hear the Japanese and laugh about it because she was like half paying attention to it, and I was like showing her some manga, so she was like reading this manga that I was showing her, and like kind of laughing about what was going on in that show, because I told her about it and I was like explaining to her like there's this whole thing where these characters are like just saying kabaddi 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 over and over, and I like really random stories, dude, and this is one of those. This is so absolutely random, and I don't know if a lot of people are gonna like this or not, so I don't know if I would recommend this to anybody, because I just personally have like really random, like weird, awkward tastes in humor, and this fits that really awkward taste that I have in humor. Like this mangaka has it, very much has it, and yeah, dude, I loved the anime so much that it made me want to check out the source material, and I found one of my favorite scenes, where like this dude and his nephew turn into like dinosaurs or whatever. But yeah, Uncle from Another World, for me, yeah, it's so random that it's good. And there's like basically like this dude was isekai'd to another world, and he comes back like 15 years later or something into the future. He comes back and he's just like really weird, and he still has the powers from when he was isekai'd, and he does like a lot of really random stuff, and he raises people's minds, and he can pull up like a screen to show his memories of what had happened to him. And there's so many miscommunications between him and this character right here, and it's just gold seeing the other characters' reactions to the life that he lived when he was in the isekai world. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. I've been wanting to own this for a while. It was out of print for the longest time, dude, and it's so cool to finally own it. And I got all of it. I got volume 2 through, or is it volume 3 through 4? I got, here's 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8, and then we got 9 and 10. I pretty much was like, I have to pick all of it up at the same time because I'm not taking any chances whatsoever. I'm reading volume 1. Once I'm done with volume 1, I am doing a video about it. I'm doing a let's talk about Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. I might eventually do another video about it once I read all of it. But so far, what I've read, I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. And there's so much of it. Like, I didn't realize how big these volumes were, dude. Like, this mangaka wrote an unreal amount of story, and I'm only like, tip of the iceberg. This story, I'm like tip of the iceberg, dude. But yeah, I can't wait to see, what happens next. And I have been reading it really slowly because this hasn't been like a huge priority for me, because like I always like have like a structure to my video list, like what I'm going to drop next, what I'm going to drop after that. And this hasn't really been like super high up on that list. So I haven't really prioritized reading it, but I am going to, because I want to drop it by like August. I want to drop a video about it by August. So hopefully, I get that ball rolling too, because I do want to do a video about Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Like at least for this first volume, drop something. Frank and Fran volumes 1 and 2. I mean, Frank and Fran 1 and 2. These are omnibus volumes, and then we got 3 and 4 here. We got 5 and 6. And then we have 7 and 8. And I got these from the UK, as they were completely sold out here in the US of A, sadly. But I was lucky enough to get my hands on them. Hopefully there's another, reprint or whatever. But these, like, blew out. They were gone so quickly, dude. And I got these from the UK, and I paid a little bit more than I would have liked, in shipping. But I don't even care, because they are all in my hands. And I'm going to be starting this like super duper soon. Like I said, before when I was talking about Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, like I have a structure to the way that I drop my videos. And I don't want to show you what I have coming up, because I like that to be a surprise. I like to tell you like almost like maybe a few days, before I'm going to drop a video, what I'm going to drop. Because I feel like if you know what I'm going to drop, I feel like it kind of takes away from the excitement of, me dropping videos. But just know that like I do have like literally all of July just blocked. Almost August too. I have just like 8 weeks of videos. But the thing is I don't always have the time to get these videos made, because some of them are a lot more involved and they take a lot more time to do everything. And I just don't have like, in general, like a lot of time. And that sadly that also means that I don't have a lot of time to read. You know, like I said at the beginning of the video, that like I just got so much stuff going on, and it's not that like I'm just buying all this manga and I'm not reading all of it because I don't want to. It's just like I'm super busy, but I do try to read as much of it as I can, and I always try to make videos about it so that I can talk about it with you all and see you engage your thoughts and opinions and whatnot on the different series that I read. But yeah, this is Franken Fran. All right, so now that we're doing the Spanish manga, I'm gonna have to start speaking Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, I'm not gonna translate either. I'm not gonna put what I'm saying in any brackets or anything. So you'll just have to imagine the words. You know, like translate them in your brain somehow. Just find a way. Get your Spanish speaking friend to translate this for you. So get your Spanish speaking friend to translate these for you. Esta manga se llama Sun Ken Rock. No la he empezado, pero sí me gusta bien mucho el Boichi. Es el mismo escritor de la historia de Doctor Stone. I'm only kidding, by the way. I'm not gonna do that in Spanish, dude. That would have been something, right, though? Like, if I legit just burst into straight up Spanish, dude. I'm not that much of an asshole. I did want to do that though. Like, I just popped in my head, like, but like I should just, you know, like start speaking Spanish. But no, this is something that I've been wanting to own for a while. I think altogether there is 9 of these omnibus, you know, Sunken Rock volumes, and the fact that I do speak Spanish made me want to check it out. You know, and there's a bunch of stuff that's sadly not available in English, but it is available in Spanish, and I do speak Spanish and I do read Spanish. And pretty much what I said in Spanish is that this is a manga that is by Boichi, and he is the same dude that does Dr. Stone, and he also has another story called Origin that I don't think is available in Spanish, but if it is or ends up being available in Spanish, either through like Norma or Evrie or whatever this is called, or like Panini, which is the Mexican one, I will own it. I will buy it. And yeah, I got volume 2 here of Sunken Rock. And I follow somebody on Instagram who I'm not gonna blast her because I don't know if she wants to be put up. But she is from Spain and she posts a lot of like Spanish manga, and sometimes I actually use her account as a way to find Spanish manga that's not available in English. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that like I otherwise would not be able to read or collect, you know, if I wasn't, you know, able to speak like a whole separate language. Not that I'm knocking on anybody, you know, that doesn't speak another language that has manga that's released in it or anything. I'm just saying that I feel really lucky that I'm able to speak Spanish, you know, because I'm able to collect, you know, Spanish language manga and whatnot. And I now have completed my Jagan set. Right here we got volume 12, volume 13. Yeah, I was just making sure. Volume 13, and then volume 14 is the closer. And as you can see, this is Panini. These two right here are by Panini, which is a Mexican manga publisher. And then this is Norma Editorial, who I have consumed a lot of manga by, who I've bought a lot of manga by. And I was collecting these by them, but the source from which I was getting the volumes was this thing called Book Depository, which was owned by Amazon, but then Amazon killed Book Depository and ripped out its guts. Now I'm buying from like just random places, and I'm not gonna like throw anyone under the bus or anything, but I was buying from the Spanish retailer and directly from Spain, the Spanish retailer, and for whatever reason my packages were being sent back to them, and I just didn't want to deal with that anymore. Given that like it takes so long, you know, for it to get here from Spain, and then for like USPS to just be like, no, screw you, it's going back because of some address thing, you know, like as the address wasn't correct, or and it's not their fault, you know, because they're like in a completely different country and their addresses are probably completely different, and it was a pain. So I ended up just getting it from Mexico, and I got these last 2 volumes that I needed from Mexico, and it kind of does bug me, dude, because they don't look the same. You know, like this one looks like this with the 2 A's, with the G and the 2 A's, and then this one has like the much longer, you know, Jaga, you know, and that does bother me a little bit. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not gonna, you know, cry about it. I'm extremely happy that I was able to, with this, complete my Jagan set, and dude, I'm one happy camper, so that's all I care about. And I said earlier that I had more Ken Wakui, and here it is. This is Sekisei Inko by Ken Wakui, and this is a story that I've talked about before on this channel that I've been wanting to pick this up. These are big boy, thick omnibus volumes. I still need to get volume 2, which I have in a cart, and I will be picking it up pretty soon. And with that, I will complete Sekisei Inko. And I wanted to pick this up because I love Ken Wakui, and I don't know if or when this will ever be translated into English. He also has another series called Desert Eagle that's also going to be released by Norma Editorial. And I wanted to mention this really quick before I forget. This came with it. This is something for people that, you know, buy Norma Editorial. This came with the volume of Sekisei Inko, and these on this side are characters from Sekisei Inko, and then right here these are characters from his other story, Tokyo Revengers. And I thought that was really cool. And right there it says Gracias Barcelona, which is thank you Barcelona in Spain. And this is a thing that I think he drew. I don't know how many of these he drew, but that's really cool, and this is something I'm going to cherish because it came with my Sekisei Inko volume that I got here, and that makes it that much more precious to me, because I like it when mangaka do those sorts of things, you know, where like they show appreciation for the people that read their stories, and this was, you know, something that was in Spanish, translated into Spanish from Japanese, and this dude, you know, in Ken Wakui, showing, you know, appreciation for, you know, Spain and for his Spanish audience and whatnot. And I am part Spanish. Otherwise, I am almost fully blooded Mexican, Mexican American. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have. That is all of the manga that I collected, and this video again is like an hour long. I did not mean for it to be this long, but it's just tough, dude, when you have so much manga to get through, and then like I want to talk to you guys as well, and I don't want to just be like, here's this, and not, you know, say anything about it, because I feel like that's lame, and I want to have a conversation with you all. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your opinions. I want to know where you are, how you're doing, how everything in your life is going. I want you to be in a good place. And yeah, I mean, you guys are the reason this channel exists. Without you, there is no Eclectic Collector. There is no channel. You all dropping comments and hanging out and telling me how you feel about a thing or recommending me things, it all means so much. You have no idea how much that means to me, and I take it to the heart. Like, I legit appreciate you all for being here and for spending time with me, because you could really honestly be doing anything else with your day, but you spent an hour of your time hanging out with me, and that's something that I appreciate deep inside my heart. I just want to say a big old thank you so much for hanging out with me. Whatever you got going on for the rest of your day, I hope that you are in good health, so please take care.
By the hands of God, I stand as a wrench between your wheeling cog, fastening my belt, bracing myself to withstand against all odds. Himself shadow runners, battle ready, murder dogs, rip the skin off your horses, triumph to smash the sorceress, lethal forces. The failure of your ambitions is more painful than divorces. Smash its own piece on the doorway, when the door hits, that's it, call it quits. Zipped up in plastic, cremated, melted like elastic. Dreams don't mean shit, in this life they don't exist.